Yo guys, what is going on? I am back with another video. Um, I want to talk about this Patriots Rams trade that they just made with Sony Michel, obviously. And my thoughts on it, what it would mean for the Rams, what it would mean for the Patriots, and what it would mean for fantasy football. So, first off, what it means for the Rams is they get a solid number one guy. Cam Akers was obviously hurt. He's out for the season. A lot of people don't know if he'll ever be the same after this. It's one of the worst injuries for a running back to have. So we'll see how that all works out, how that all schemes out as Cam Akers works his way back for next year. It has been proven that Cam Akers is out for the year. So we'll see how that goes. Um, I think Sony Michel could be a solid running back for the Rams. If you look at last year, I think Sony Michel averaged over 5 yards per carry over the limited carries he got because we had a loaded backfield. The Patriots have even a more loaded backfield than last year with them drafting Stevenson out of Oklahoma, I believe it was, and um, just a lot of running backs on this team. Rex Burkhead obviously left, but we still have J.J. Taylor, Stevenson, Harris, James White, Brandon Bolden's coming back. It's a loaded backfield already. So you didn't really need Sony Michel, but he would have probably helped a little bit with just pure running skill. And he was our first round pick, so it's kind of weird to see him go. Obviously, he had a great Super Bowl against the Rams. I believe he rushed for over 100 yards, and he was the only guy who got a touchdown in that Super Bowl. And now he goes to the Rams. What does this mean for the Patriots? It means that the Patriots are probably already comfortable with the running backs they got. Obviously, like I said before, they drafted Stevenson. Harris seems like a good running back, a really good running back that they can trust. They're always going to have James White catching passes out of the backfield. He's going to be more of a scat back. You can also run him if you want to, but he's going to probably be more as a scat back, especially J.J. Taylor, I think. J.J. Taylor will probably be a scat back too, catching passes out of the backfield, doing all that stuff. And Stevenson is a really good running back. I've been pretty impressed with what he's done so far. Yeah, I think the Patriots have a solid running back core even without Sony Michel. Now, what does this mean for fantasy? I think Sony Michel could be a solid running back too, or just a flex position. If you look at Sony Michel, you know, it's his career has been a little bit iffy, especially in 2019 with the Patriots. The Patriots' offensive line obviously was horrible in 2019. 2020 he bounced back. He averaged 5 yards per carry, which is pretty dang good, but he got limited touches. So the way I see it is, I think Sony Michel is going to be their pure number one running back, with Darrell Henderson getting the being a scat back more type of role. Sony Michel was always a pure runner. He was never really known as a pass catcher with the Patriots. That could all change. Maybe Sean McVay, the head coach of the Rams, might want to change him to be more of a pass catching back too for Stafford, so they don't give it away that when Henderson's there, they're going to be throwing to Henderson. So if you can use Sony Michel as more of a pure runner plus a pass catcher, then it would confuse defenses. They wouldn't know how to cover him, stuff like that. I think Sony Michel, if he can get going, if he gets 15 carries a game plus 5 catches, that's a solid running back too. I don't know if he's going to get that carries. I mean, they did obviously trade a 4th and a 6th round pick for him, but that's not really giving up a whole lot. I think they saw what Darrell Henderson was, and he's not really a premier back. Even though I liked him in the first few games last year, I thought he showed out. He did pretty well. He wasn't amazing. Especially when Cam Akers take over, you knew it was Cam Akers' backfield. So if Sony Michel could do that and take over, I think Sony Michel can have a hell of a fantasy year. I think he can have a hell of a football year. And I think the Rams could potentially make this a playoff run. You look at the Rams as a whole. You add now a running game, which they haven't really had. They weren't going to have with Darrell Henderson. Even though I liked Henderson, I didn't think he was going to be their premier back. I think they were going to add somebody, and it was Sony Michel, obviously. And you look at the pass catchers now. They added Deshaun Jackson in the offseason. They drafted Tutu Atwell in the second round. And now they still have Cooper Kupp. They still have Robert Woods. They have a tight end, Higbee, who looks pretty good. You have Matt Stafford, obviously, who's going to be passing, who's going to be quarterback. And then you also now add Sony Michel. So you have great receivers, great running back, a pretty good defense. And when you have Aaron Donald manning down the defensive line, and then you have the cornerbacks and Jalen Ramsey leading that group, I think it could be a solid team. So I think the Rams made a great trade. If I was to grade the trade for the Rams, I give it an A. You didn't really have to give up too much for Sony. And I give the Patriots a B-, because the way I see it is Sony Michel was drafted in the first round, and you were only able to get a fourth and a sixth for him. Which, here's the thing. The Patriots could turn it into, turn a fourth and a sixth round pick into a pretty good players. I mean, they drafted Tom Brady in the sixth round. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but I'm just saying Patriots are able to evaluate talent in the later rounds. Not so much in the earlier rounds. I mean, if you look at the past few years, they were able to, they drafted Sony Michel in the first round and N'Keal Harry in the first round. One's already off the team, and one has already demanded a trade to be off the team. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, that's the video. I think Sony Michel is going to have a hell of a year. I'll see you guys next time.